to come before any audience and talk about the Middle East, because inevitably people will want to know what's going to happen tomorrow. We can argue a little bit about yesterday, though there are always more arguments about yesterday than there are about tomorrow. Most people who argue about tomorrow have very firm political views. People who argue about yesterday have firm historical interpretations. I want to do a political weather report. And the political weather report is about the region of the world that I've studied for almost 40 years. Actually 45 now. I was a graduate student at the University of Michigan in 1968 during those heady days of the Vietnam War, immediately after the June 1967 war, the Khartoum Summit Conference, UN Resolution 242, War of Attrition, 73 war. I lived in Israel from 71 to 73. I was a graduate student at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, lived in Beit HaKerem, walked across the Wadi, and raised our 3-month-old who's now 44. Came back to Ann Arbor in 74 and stayed until I came to Emory in 77. The Middle East that I learned as a graduate student at the University of Michigan is not the Middle East that we know today. That's not a brilliant statement, but it's worth reminding ourselves of where the Middle East might be headed because of where it's come from. In the 60s, we had a Cold War. We knew who the enemies were. We knew who the clients were. We knew who Moscow was befriending: Libya, Iraq, Egypt, 4 or 5 different groups of the Palestinian Liberation Organization, and a deep connection with Algeria. American foreign policy in the Middle East was predicated on essentially 4 pillars: a positive relationship with Israel, and then Iraq, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. We had a good, warm relationship with Turkey, but that all has changed 40 years later. There's been a political realignment. There's now political Islam. There's now radical Islam. There's now Islamic anti-Semitism in a variety, in a magnitude, and in a reach that was unheard of in 1968 and 69. We didn't have a peace between Israel and Egypt, let alone between Israel and Jordan. We had a Soviet Union, and we no longer have one. Although I might say Mr. Putin is certainly acting like he is again Catherine the Great, only the male version. We didn't get outflanked in the United States by the Soviet Union in the Middle East. We stood our ground. I can't say the same for today, 2015, 2016. What has changed in the last 40 years? More importantly, what has changed in the last 100 years? This map, which was a map, just hit the enter button. Just hit enter. Just enter. You just have to scroll it. Okay. No,